Hey everyone, welcome to the Christmas episode.
Yay!
Yay! Oh my gosh, it is a yay. Of No Title Needed. I'm Cynthia Collins.
And I am Scott Osborne.
And we are here today with our special Christmas guest.
Domenica Bongiovani.
There you go, Domenica Bongiovani. My God, I love that name, Bongiovani. I know, yes, I've heard it many times before in my life. Do people call you Dom?
They try.
Not a fan?
I like to cut that off.
Got it.
I prefer Domenica.
Right, so everybody always has to say your full name, Domenica.
No
nicknames.
Just get the syllables out.
Yeah.
I mean, I think your family's always going to call you what they want to call you because they're your family.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, generally since I was a kid, I just kind of just insisted on Domenica. I just didn't think there was really any good way to shorten it. That this sounds silly.
Right?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
What's a lovely name? It's very
Oh,
pretty.
it's great.
Yeah.
And thank you. Bongiovani, my God.
Yeah.
Okay. You are a journalist, right? Go from the beginning. Where'd you start? I think you're with Kansas City Star, right?
So that was my first professional job. Yes. I went to college and I double majored in music and journalism. I've played the cello since I was a little kid. And so I think it's the best instrument. I'm very biased.
Adore it.
It's has the range of the human voice, is what we were told. But yeah, so I always loved to write as well. And so just kind of took those two skills to college and double majored in journalism and music, went on to grad school, and I'm kind of a nerd. So I really wanted to study something more, and that something ended up being music history, basically. And so I kind of put those two things together and got into journalism, actually sports first, at the Kansas City Star. It's where I could get my foot in the door being a copy editor and designer for their sports section. And I learned a lot. There were a lot of veterans who were really talented there, and eventually knew that I wanted to get into reporting and writing about the arts if possible. And so a job opened up at the Journal and Courier in Lafayette, Indiana. And so that's how I got to Indiana. And then that is owned by the same company as the Indianapolis Star. So when the arts job opened up at Indy Star, I applied for that and felt very fortunate to get it. So.
Great.
So you grew up where?
Kansas City, Missouri.
So you grew up in Kansas City. Okay. Not too far. Coming to Indiana.
Not terrible. I want to say it's probably like about an 8-hour drive, by the time you get some snacks, stop for a minute.
You have to have snacks.
You have to have
Of course. Do you go home often?
for holidays, and then I try to go in the spring just when there's like not the holiday busyness, just to, spend some time with family and everything. So
Yeah. Thank you for wearing Christmas colors today.
You're
Going like a shade of green here.
It felt right to put the green on. You guys, you had me keep the scarf I just like.
Oh, I love it.
But it worked,
It works great.
I guess.
Oh, it's brilliant. So
I don't know about that, but thank you.
So when you were writing sports, because you kind of had to, that was it, right?
Well-
like it's sports or you're not hired.
Well, basically, so I wasn't a writer when I was there, but I did, they just needed somebody. I kind of caught the last wave of designing and copy editing in-house at Metro newspaper. And so that's the job that I interviewed for. I did have some experience doing that in college. And so, it was, do you want to be in journalism, and it's a great paper, and I knew I would have great coworkers. And so
Hemingway. Was he there at that time?
One only wishes, but yeah, it was kind of like the lore,
Yeah.
So
Yeah, that he started there or something. Right.
early in his career, I think is what I heard.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. Yep. I just found that out too.
Wow.
Oh, I didn't know that either.
Sweet.
Yeah, go.
Was there a sport you were focusing on in particular? Do you have a specific assignment?
No, I think it's basically, so when you copy edit and design, you just take whatever comes across the desk then.
Okay.
So you have to be, if you don't know all the stars and all the sports, you do pretty soon, because Kansas City is, the biggest sports, obviously the Chiefs, the Royals, and then you have three really major college teams with, the University of Missouri and Kansas State and the University of Kansas. And then, of course, sometimes there's a golf tournament, sometimes there's hockey, and
Yeah.
so, yeah, you just get good at kind of grabbing whatever and figuring out what photos are going to go best with that and headlines and stuff.
There's a lot of room for creativity in that. That's cool.
If they let you, right?
Right,
I mean,
yeah.
how much freedom did you have?
It really depended on the deadline. So when I was working there, it was, a lot of effort was put into the print product, which is something that has been shifting over the last so many years as more people migrate online. But, we called it the Daily Miracle because, that copy would come in really late. Games end late, and you just need to get it on the page. You need to get it to look good. You need to get a headline specification on there, a head spec. You need to, either write that yourself or send it to somebody. So that time there's not a lot of creativity. You're just done is what they want.
Working the night shift.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then, but I would say where creativity would come in is on a Chiefs game, for example, if they had a noon game, somewhere around 3-4 p.m., they would have what they call the double truck. And so that's kind of the center of the paper. You open it up and they would do a big photo spread. And so you would start to get some photos would start to trickle in. So you'd have to be creative very fast because you can play with that, but you need to get it done in time, so that it can send it off to the printer. If it was in color, that printed a little earlier.
Yeah. The importance of the deadline as well. That's
Yeah, that deadline's always just like hovering.
especially for the photographers who are trying to get them in. Wild. Fun.
Now,
Yes.
once you got to Lafayette, right? That's where you were? Then you were in the arts.
Yeah, then I was in the arts. So I was using my degrees.
And where? Lafayette. I mean, I don't. What were you writing about?
So one of the things, Purdue.
Yeah, I know Purdue.
Yeah, and they had a great theater program, and they would do. They had kind of the resources to be able to throw it great set designs and kind of some experimental stuff. So I had a lot of fun covering that. I covered their civic theater, their symphony, and also Lafayette kind of has this sort of unsung, really good, live music, I guess, scene. And it's one of those things where Bloomington kind of gets a lot of the credit. And there's always a little bit of a head butting or, a rub there like, oh, Bloomington's known for this, or they're going to Bloomington. But there would be some they had some great punk bands that would go through there. They had a little bit of a punk scene, some people who were into that.
I
Yeah.
don't know why, but engineering for some reason feels like that is a match. I feel like that those go hand in hand. But
Yeah. So people who were very much into that scene would say, oh, I was so excited that so-and-so was here, or that, these people came through, or that this person worked with them. And so there was kind of, if you knew, you knew. I guess,
And you were covering all that.
Yeah.
fun.
So how'd you get the job at the Indy Star?
I heard that it opened up, and I, being from a similarly sized city, I thought it would be fun to move to Indianapolis. I had, when you're reporting anywhere in Indiana, you hear about Indianapolis and what's going on here. And so I just, applied and kind of, used whatever knowledge I had gained about Indy to, say, hey, I could start to explore some stories here.
Yeah.
And, I could show them some of the work that I'd done. They could see a little bit how I worked. And yeah.
So did Indy kind of turn into the goal after you had been in the state of Indiana for a while? I mean...
Yeah, I think Indy Star has a really good reputation, I think, in the company overall, formerly Gannett, now the USA Today company, and of being innovative, of having a really good work culture, having, talented people work here. So I think, I didn't know, when I got to Lafayette where to go next, but it seemed like Indy could be a really nice, next step. So
Working up the ladder.
yeah.
All right, we have to take a break.
Okay.
But guess what? This is a very special break. Because not only is it a break for our sponsor, we have some very, very special guests. So take it away.
Enjoy. Scott.
Hey, Scotty.
Hey, Merry Christmas, everyone.
Merry Christmas. This is a very special segment for No Title Needed because today we have a very special person with us, Evelyn Myers and her assistant, Sam. And Evelyn is the quality control for the big guy for the naughty and nice list. Evelyn, thank you for being here with us.
I'm very glad to be here.
Well, we are ecstatic, and that must be quite a list.
It is.
Holy mackerel! How do you keep track of all those kids on the naughty and nice list? Stuff, isn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
but it pays well.
Oh, well, that's what it's all about, isn't it? And you know what, Scotty? Hello.
I think I just heard some jingle bells.
I think I did too. And I think the big guy is here with us. I can't believe it. Oh my gosh!
There he is.
Santa!
Can I join
Santa,
you?
please.
Yes, please,
It
sit
looks like
down.
a perfect scene here at the Hotel Carmichael Feinstein's.
Thanks for being here with us.
Hello, Evelyn. Thanks for continuing to do such a great job for all of us at the North Pole. And Salem, so nice to see you again.
So, Evelyn, do you have a question for Santa?
Uh-huh. How long do you spend in each house?
Oh, what a good question, Evelyn. I knew you'd have some great ones. Let's see. Because it's all magic, things can happen just like that. And so, my friends who are moving from the naughty to the nice list, hey, they get some extra surprises just like that.
It's a twinkle of his nose and his eye, and he's up the chimney.
Just like that.
Just like that.
That is so cool.
Well, Miss Evelyn, tell me, how is my list looking this year?
Good, but you missed one.
I missed one?
This guy.
Sam, which side are you on the list today?
I don't know.
I think he's on the naughty list, is what I think.
Let's let it slide this year, though.
You want me to let it slide?
Yeah, he's my brother.
What? You are so lucky to have Sam as your brother, too. Oh, my gosh. And Sam, you're lucky to have Evelyn as your sister.
I know.
Yeah.
And we are so lucky that the big guy showed up today with his quality control coordinator, Evelyn, and her assistant, Sam, who's on the naughty list, but everybody's going to let that slide, right?
We're going to let it slide this year.
That's right. And we want to... Santa, you're in a... Boy, you are so extra jolly today. Well, we want to wish all of you and all of us here from No Title Needed a very Merry Christmas. Come on, everybody.
Merry Christmas!
Give us a ho, 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 Santa. That's what we're waiting for. Thanks, everybody. Hey, we are back. Oh my gosh, we want to thank the big guy
Yep.
for showing up.
It was jolly. Jolly time.
It couldn't have been more jolly. And of course,
We can't forget.
we cannot forget his quality control supervisor that
Right.
came with him. She
Cute
was,
as a button.
Are you kidding? She was busy too. So we want to thank them because it is a very busy time of year, of course, and taking the time out to come see us.
Precious minutes right now.
Right, okay. Precious minutes and moments.
And moments. It was
Okay,
delightful.
so let's get back to Bongiovani here. All right, Dom, which you hate being called. Domenica. All right. So, so you had Kansas City, Lafayette, Indy Star, right? And how long have you been with the Indy Star?
About 8 years.
Okay. And so have you just only always covered the arts now?
I mean, I would say the vast majority of what I've done is the arts, but I think any reporter nowadays, and myself included, you cover breaking news, you cover anything that needs to be covered. I think during COVID, I don't even think we remember what we covered. We see our name on stories and we're like, yeah, I wrote that. But it was a time.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So-
Oh, it was a time. all right.
Only imagine being involved in that industry.
Kind of a fire hose.
COVID.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so what, I mean, obviously 8 years, right?
Mm-hmm.
What's your favorite? What was not so great? What maybe affected you in certain ways, covering a story of certain things? Do you have anything that stands out?
Yeah, I would say there's a lot of them that stands out. I would say that the ones that affect you the most, I think some of the most important stories that you tell are, when we do what we call kind of a news obituary, or featurized obituary, because, somebody in the community that everybody knows, and you're trying to do justice to that person, and you're calling a family while they're grieving when it's just happened. And I think those are some of the toughest stories that you write, and I think they stand out the most. I think that they're the ones that reporters, are kind of the most, detail oriented about, because you want to do justice. So I would say that those are both the hardest and the most important that we write. I would say, on a lighter side of things, I've had the opportunity to tell a couple stories that were kind of, dreams that I didn't know I could have. I think in 2019, I had the pleasure of going with the Children's Museum on their dinosaur dig when they were digging up a lot of those big bones. I had never been even near a dinosaur dig. I definitely not an expert about paleontology, but the paleontologists there were really nice, and they explained so many things. And we got to see these things in the ground and how they get them out, how they put casts on them, and just telling the story of this kind of dramatic scene where this dinosaur had died and fallen over. And, it was fascinating.
It sounds
Wait,
incredible.
where?
Yeah,
Where was this?
that was in Wyoming. So,
Cool.
yeah, so I had the opportunity. They invited some media, and so I had the opportunity to be part of that and to tell that story from there, to take video and to really brush up my science skills. I was reading books on the plane. Like,
What an experience.
let me try to get this right.
Seriously.
So
Sounds so cool. When did this take place?
so they've been digging for several years, but I went in 2019 in the summer.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
And when you cover, okay, so is it hard? Say you have to go see a performance, but you have to cover it. So can you enjoy it?
you enjoy it in a different way.
Right.
I was very excited, when Andrea Bocelli came in, I want to say it was 2022. I think December of 2022, that he, I had never seen him live. I was very excited. I don't write a whole lot of reviews because there's one of me and there's a lot of storytelling to do. But that was one that my editors pegged as, hey, write a review as such. And so I said, okay. And I also was able to cover Farm Aid a couple of years ago as well, because our pop culture reporter was on paternity leave at the time. So I would say in those two instances, you go and you're a fan because you're human.
Yeah.
But you're also, I almost wrote more of a vibe piece than, did they miss this note or whatever.
Right. You're not a critic, a theater critic.
It's, yeah.
You're just reporting on the event.
Yeah. And
happened, right?
exactly.
Yeah.
And just, what stood out to me for people who went, I wanted to be able to encapsulate that in a way that they felt like they could share with their friends. For people who didn't go, I hope to be able to show them what it was like to be there. So, you listen critically, and you're thinking about it as an outsider. But I don't know. It's a good way to enjoy it as well.
Analyze it.
It's kind of
Yeah.
weird.
Yeah.
Because you're thinking about, okay, I got to write about this and what am I going to write? And then you're taking notes. You must be taking notes during it, or
Yep.
you have to. You'll never remember,
Yeah. I was writing, so Farm Aid in 2023 was like a 12-hour concert. And so I was toward the end of that, it was about midnight or so. And Willie Nelson was on stage and I started drafting my first couple paragraphs because I knew I was going to have to go home and write. So how could we make this go a little faster? And, I wanted to tell a story. I think at the core of everything, I just want to be a good storyteller. And I was writing in my notebook and this woman comes up to me. She's like, "Are you writing a book?" And I was like, that's not such an odd question. I was just like, no, I'm a reporter. But, and to your point, yes, you're always thinking about what are the points I'm going to make.
Yeah. And that's hard, I think.
It's a cool way to look at going to the theater, though. A whole different experience. When you, as a viewer, you analyze and you think about the end
And
the majority of the time. How is this going to conclude?
Yeah, yeah.
But you're breaking it down and capturing it probably a little more incremental, right? Like moment by moment. How's the intro? Because that's something you gotta keep in mind in your process is how not just how does it conclude, but how does it get to the conclusion, and without ruining the story to the audience.
Yeah, if it's a book piece, but and if you're just going to see a concert, that's still there's a beginning, middle, and end to a concert too. You know, there is.
Yeah.
There is. And even if it's not a book, like you're not going to see a show, a play, a musical.
Right.
You're just going to see a concert, right?
Right.
But there's still the arc and the ebb and flow
Yeah.
to that.
Yes.
You know?
You're looking for, I mean, I'm always looking for themes. What does it feel like? And especially when I write about film or theater, you know, and I'm seeing the piece before I'm writing, I'm always assuring people I won't give away the end, I promise. So it's almost, it's a fun challenge because you're looking for those themes and you want to show somebody why this is a good piece of art. But at the same time, you want to leave them on a cliffhanger, but you don't want to be really obvious about it because it's just annoying. So you're kind of balancing this, you know, like, hey, if you go, you'll see the rest of this. But here's also me analyzing the art and the themes of it, you know, in the same piece. And it's hard. I think anybody who does it would say the same.
What with everything that so far that you've done, I know this is God, I feel like this is such a cliche question. But some of your favorite performances that you've had the opportunity to see. Otherwise you may not have seen if you weren't writing about it.
If I wasn't writing about it,
You know?
yeah, gosh, that's a tough question.
And do you go, obviously, you obviously probably support the performing arts, even when you're not writing, you go
Yes.
and see things.
Yes.
Right? Which is so different.
But
'Cause
now
then you're
you're
just like
still
this.
fine.
Well, I'm just going to enjoy it, you know, for myself.
Sometimes I do that. Yeah. I do just go, you know, I've gone by myself. I've gone, you know, with people, just for fun, because I think that's an important experience to make sure that you're still in those, your fun shoes. I don't know, you know, but yeah, I would say, you know, I storefront theater. So some of their earlier performances when they were kind of just getting going, you know, it was up close, black box theater. You're very intimate. I know there was one performance where, you know, there were a lot of fight scenes, and then they had a therapist on hand afterwards to talk through the trauma that, you know, people had gone through. And I had not been to a show that had done that. So I thought that was really interesting. I would say, you know, Actors Theater of Indiana, you know, when you all did, and I'm trying to, you're going to be able to recall the name of the library.
Don't be too sure. Oh my God! Of course,
played-
Alabama Story. Emily Reed.
Yes.
Yes, a wonderful play by Ken Jones.
Really brilliant play. And
Really great.
yes, and I didn't see that till after I wrote the piece, and I was digging more into the history.
Yes.
But I would say just personally, it's very fulfilling to be able to write something and research it and then go and see the art being made.
Because it's real.
Because it's real.
It's a real story.
Yes.
I like that too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, thanks. Yeah, I like that too.
I bet that's a pretty familiar feeling for you because you're the one doing the performance, so
well,
you
yes,
got to do
but
that.
you're not always
research.
playing a real person.
Well, true.
And so when you do, and you have all that history, and I love research too, it's really, really something. We have to wrap this up. Oh my gosh, Domenica Bongiovani, I'm so sorry, but Merry Christmas.
Yes. Merry Christmas to you.
Merry almost Christmas.
Yes, Merry Christmas, everyone.
Yes, and the merriest, and enjoy it. And from us here at No Title Needed to you again, yes, Merry almost Christmas, because it's not Christmas Day yet. Not yet. Get ready for those presents. Scott, I hope you're giving me thousands of presents.
Oh, you do not. Let's keep your expectations reasonable.
You're not getting anything from me.
Oh, okay.
Oh, maybe a hug.
all
All right.
Yeah.
Merry Christmas, everyone. Thank you so much. Merry Christmas.
Yes.
And we'll see you next time.